Nigerians that are decolonizing. You are forming decolonization here on TikTok. Let me tell you where you lost. In almost all your videos, you are always trying to sound like the white man. Now, I'm not even talking about you speaking English language. I'm talking about things like the intonations and their slangs. Y'all did this. Y'all, you are goofy as fuck. We don't talk like that for this side. You lost. Also, are we seriously going to continue playing victims for the rest of our lives? Oh, the white man came and enslaved us. Africans were practicing slavery before the white man came. Like, poor parents can actually wake up one day and sell their sons and daughters to chiefs and other rich men for slaves. So it's safe to say that the white man came and saw what we were doing to our own sons and daughters, and then they did it to us. The only problem is they had to double it.
Just when you think that we're getting it right, some people comes up here and spew a lot of ignorant things, and you keep wondering, are we even going forward, or are we just we keep playing this game of who knows something more than this other person? But that's not even the case here. So this video, she really said a lot of things, and I agree with some of the things that she said, like the one of language, the one of Africans, we continuing this cycle of blaming the white man for the things that they did. Whereas in these current times, like in Nigeria, we are still doing a lot of things on ourselves, and by ourselves, we are killing ourselves. Tribalism, if you look at racism now, it's not just somebody else out there doing it to us, it's us doing it on ourselves. So if we keep continuing to blame the white man, well, but the point here is that us blaming the white man is not even the case, because I believe that before we are trying to undo what they actually did. It's just like you trying to kind of bring out a woman from a Stockholm syndrome, bringing her out from an abusive situation, something that she knows that it's not good for her, but she's already seeing her abuser as her savior. So this is what we are struggling with. So when creators out there are making these same comments, the white man did, the white man, we are right, we are correct. Because us coming out here to preach this message, trying to decolonize everything that has been done to us previously, is our own human attempt to make or create a better Igbo African society. So don't come and start telling us, start trying to tell us that we've lost it. Try to appreciate those efforts. Because if you don't appreciate those efforts, that means when a white man behaves these days, we'll still have to worship a white man. Because I watched this true crime where a white man murdered an African woman, a Kenyan woman, and up to now it's been 10 years and no justice has been given to that woman's family, and all because the perpetrator is a white man. So believe it or not, when we're trying to decolonize our mind, trying to decolonize ourselves, we are right, and we'll continue to do it that way. So all the same, you made some points that I actually pointed out, and you talked something about African slavery, the rape of women being naked because they were naked. Seriously. Then the sky daddy, that the ancestors did not understand what or who a sky daddy was, Abba, and the whole natural resources, how our ancestors didn't know what it was and they had to come and use it for us. What kind of a nonsense idea just popped into your head and you decide, okay, let me come and make noise on TikTok? Okay, listen, I didn't want to sound angry in these posts, but the one of women being raped because of the kind of clothes they were wearing at that point, it really got me messed up. Because let's be honest, so this white man came and they saw, okay, these women, they don't used to wear things because of our climate. Then the men, our African men, our Igbo men, don't rape us, the women. But they now have to come and say, oh, these women are naked, let's rape them, because they are displaying their clavities. What kind of, does it even make sense to you? In this day and age, we're trying to say no to being raped as women because of what we are wearing. Don't objectify us because of what we're wearing. That a woman is dressing halfway or whatever. It's not an invitation for her to be raped. This is something we consciously were trying, a narrative that we're trying to change. And here you are on this space saying that, have we thought that the reason why these white men raped our African women is because they were scantily dressed? You're literally just taking women's rights like how many years backwards, according to the Victorian era, not even our African era. Because in our African era, women had rights. It's now with the upset of colonialism that literally, changed everything. Now made it to become or look as if women don't have rights in our African society. Now, another thing that you said is African slavery, how our ancestors sold their children to rich men because because they couldn't afford it. So let's look at it as, survival. I'm poor. I cannot, train these children. But there is the man out there that I can actually do it. Okay, now let me just sell this my child to, a man within the Igbo or the African setting. Now, I've done that. The child is being well fed. The child is not being killed. The child is not being raped. The child is not being mutilated. The child is not being, have you even tried to look at what slavery did? The inhuman treatment. Where do you sit in African society? Then that's one aspect of it. Now, the African slavery that you should be focused on is Africans selling their fellow Africans to these white men, especially women. Now, if you're a traditionalist, you should be aware of what we call Ozunwada or Ifenwada. Now, these are women that were sold by probably their fathers, their mothers, their family members that sold them. And because they were sold, they did not perform the traditional funeral rites of these women. Do you know what this family is suffering in current time because of the sins of their ancestors? Are you even aware? Now, it was some sort of a deterrent to people. Don't sell your children because of this repercussion. Now, evil people would always exist in every human society. So that one is it. Now, the aspect of a sky daddy, we understood that there is a God, a Jew that exists. But we understood that our interaction with Jew is not like how the Europeans sees this concept of Okike. We understood that God created your Chi, God created your Agu, God created your Izumezumo, all the spirits around you. God created every one of them, but they are the ones that are directly in charge of you. So what the respect we accord to Okike is more of reverence. We now believe that for God to do anything for us, we have to pass through our Chi and Ezumezu. That's why we perform rituals and rites, sacrifices to acknowledge them. That's the Igbo mentality. That's how the Igbo world functions. So if you had understood that Igbos knew who God was, understood God in their own African or Igbo context, but also knew that God created Chi, Ezumezu, and the rest of them, and now expects us to flow. There's a channel, there's a hierarchy to flow through them. You will not come and make this statement. Now, the final thing about natural resources, we were contented by the one nature has granted us. We were able to use those natural resources without harming the environment. Have you asked yourself why it's only in African society that we do not have natural disasters as much as we have them in most of all these European countries? Have you ever thought, because our ancestors understood that nature comes first, revered, respected nature, and did not overstretch those resources because they are not finite? So all these things are things you should have considered before coming on this space to give your opinion. Now, I follow you, and I think you're a good creator. I dig all the contents, but this particular content is wrong. So I'm just going to stop here. And if you're going to redress, please redress and do better next time. Thank you very much.